We take our sense of touch for granted every single second of every day. But have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on right under your skin? It's a whole hidden world, this incredible landscape of bizarre, beautiful structures that literally define our reality. Today, we're going to take a journey inside.
I mean, it seems like a simple question, right? We experience these differences all the time. But how does our body actually do it? How does it translate this huge range of physical forces into such a rich tapestry of feelings? Everything from a puff of air to an intimate touch.
Okay, get ready for this. Believe it or not, part of the answer looks, well, it looks like a creature from the deep sea. No, this isn't some alien. This is a real image of a single touch sensor from deep inside your skin. It's just one member of a huge family of cells that makes feeling even possible. And when you realize you have millions of these all over your body, it's just breathtaking.
You know, for centuries, this inner world was a complete mystery. Scientists could map out the eye, they could figure out the ear, but the sense of touch? That turned out to be a much harder problem to solve. It was like this massive, tangled jungle, and nobody had a map. And here's why it was so darn difficult. Your sense of sight, your hearing, they're all neatly contained in these small specialized organs, right? The eye, the ear. But touch is everywhere. It's this vast, sprawling network of nerve fibers stretching from our spinal cord into every single inch of our skin. It's not one instrument, it's a massive, decentralized orchestra.
So, anatomists could see that nerves were there, sure, but they couldn't tell any of them apart. It was just this web of axons, you know, those long, slender fibers that transmit information, a totally confusing mess of wiring with no clear labels.
The guy at the center of our story, Harvard neurobiologist David Ginty, puts it perfectly. He says to imagine trying to understand a city's electrical grid where every single wire looks exactly the same. That was the challenge for the science of touch. So, yeah, how do you untangle a jungle like that?
Well, Ginty and his lab, they found a way. And they didn't just find a map. Oh no, they figured out how to make the jungle literally light itself up, revealing its secrets one pathway at a time. And this changed everything.
So, how'd they pull it off? Through this brilliant feat of genetic engineering. To put it simply, they found the unique genetic switches for different types of touch neurons in mice. Then, they attached these little fluorescent labels to those switches. And the result? Well, for the first time ever, they could just flip a switch and make one specific type of neuron glow in a brilliant, beautiful color. Just amazing!
And you can just imagine when they turned on those lights, this was the big reveal. For the first time, scientists could actually see the individual instruments in the orchestra. The jungle wasn't a tangled mess anymore. It was suddenly this stunning landscape of diverse, specialized cells, each with its own unique shape and its own specific job to do.
All right, so now that we can actually see them, let's meet a few members of this quirky family. Each one of these is a total specialist, designed over millions of years of evolution to detect a very specific slice of our physical world.
Take these, for instance. They're called lanceolate endings. They form these beautiful, crown-like structures that wrap right around the base of our hair follicles. So think about it. Every single time a tiny hair on your arm gets bent by a breeze, it's these sensors right here that are firing, sending that super delicate signal to your brain.
Okay, now let's go deeper and meet Ginty's all-time favorite neuron, the Pacinian corpuscle. Just look at it. It has this incredible onion-like structure, and it sits way down deep in the underlayers of our skin, especially near our bones. It's a vibration specialist for sure, but it's tuned to something pretty unexpected.
How unexpected are we talking? This thing can detect vibrations as high as 1,000 hertz. That's 1,000 cycles per second. To put that into perspective for you, that is way beyond the frequency of a buzzing phone. So you gotta ask, what in our world even vibrates that fast?
The answer is just incredible. These are our body's built-in seismic sensors. Yeah, you heard that right. They pick up the deep rumble of a train, the physical reverberations of music from a cello, even faint footsteps through the ground. They are so ridiculously sensitive, they literally connect our nervous system to the geology of the planet itself. Wild.
And we go from the geologic all the way to the intimate. Meet the Krause corpuscles. These are another kind of vibration sensor, but these are concentrated in our most sensitive hairless skin, genitalia, lips, nipples. They are exquisitely tuned to the micro vibrations created when skin glides across skin. And yeah, they play an absolutely crucial role in sexual and pleasurable touch.
Okay, so we've met some of the individual musicians, right?
We've got the hair sensors, the geologic sensors, the intimacy sensors. But how do all these separate notes combine to create the rich, complex music of what we just call a feeling?
I mean, just think about something as simple as a hug. There's pressure, there's warmth, the texture of someone's clothing, the stretch of your skin. You've got dozens of different neuron types all firing at once. How does all of that raw data become one single coherent feeling? How does it become a hug?
And this is where we've seen a total paradigm shift in our understanding. See, the old view was that these signals were like separate telephone lines going straight to the brain. But what we now know is that a ton of processing happens way earlier, down in the spinal cord and the brainstem. The different signals get woven together, creating a richer, more complex cord of information long before it ever reaches the conscious parts of our brain.
So what drives a scientist to spend decades untangling this jungle? Well, for David Ginty, it really just comes down to something very simple: awe. He tells this great story about being at a symphony, closing his eyes and just feeling the music through the chair. That profound multisensory experience, that's what he's dedicated his life to understanding.
And so, our little tour of the world beneath our skin leaves us with one final thought. If a single cell, one, responsible for just one tiny sliver of feeling, can be this complex and this beautiful, what other wonders are at work inside us, quietly shaping our entire reality, hiding just beneath our notice?